When you use a really great app, have you ever stopped to wonder what actually goes on behind the scenes? Not just the coding part, but the strategy, all the tough calls about technology, about the business, and most importantly, about your privacy. Well, today we're going to pull back the curtain and look inside a real-world strategy document that shows exactly how it's done right. Okay, so it all kicks off with a problem that I'm sure is super familiar to a lot of you. Your family's a tech mix, right? Some of you are on iPhones, others are on Android. And all you want is one simple shared calendar or to-do list. So how on earth do you get these two completely different worlds to talk to each other without it turning into a total mess? And this is what the strategy doc calls the family sharing puzzle. It's a classic tech problem. You've got these devices that are literally designed not to work together. How do you make them share info seamlessly? The solution they land on is, honestly, surprisingly elegant. So, from a business perspective, the goal is crystal clear. They need to build this family dashboard. It's not just some nice-to-have feature. It's the main attraction for their premium yearly plan, which has to support up to 6 family members. And it has to work, perfectly, because if it doesn't, nobody's going to pay for it. This slide just lays out the problem perfectly. On one side, you've got Apple's entire ecosystem, all its calendars, all its reminders, locked down tight inside its own iCloud fortress. And on the other side, you've got Google's world. I mean, these are two giant walled gardens that are absolutely not designed to play nice with each other. So how do you build a bridge between those two? Your first instinct might be to design some massive, complicated cloud system. But this is where the strategy gets really clever, because they started by asking a totally different question. Yeah, the obvious route would be to spend months, maybe even years, building your own custom cloud service to sync everything up. That'd be incredibly expensive, a nightmare to maintain, and probably full of security risks. But then the document just throws this radical idea out there. What if the smartest thing to do is to build nothing? And here is the secret weapon, a little thing called EventKit. It's a framework that Apple already made, and it basically acts like a universal translator. It doesn't matter if a user has their iCloud, their Google Calendar, or even some ancient work account set up on their iPhone. EventKit can read the calendar and reminder data from all of them. It's the master key that unlocks both of those walled gardens right from the inside. So the strategy that comes out of this is just beautifully simple. Step 1, use EventKit for all the calendars. Step 2, use the built-in reminder service for the tasks. And here's the really brilliant part. Step 3, you let the user's own phone handle all the messy stuff, like logging into Google and Apple. The app doesn't have to build any of that. It's a genius move that saves a ton of time, money, and avoids a massive headache. So, boom, technical puzzle solved. But you know how it goes. Solving one problem just reveals a new one. And now we're shifting gears from a question of engineering to a question of ethics. How do you make the app better without completely breaking your users' trust? Look, every app developer on the planet faces this. To figure out what's working and what's not, you need data. So the plan here is to bring in some standard industry tools, Mixpanel and Amplitude, just to track how people are actually using the app. This is totally normal, but it creates a really serious tension. And this slide gets right to the heart of that conflict. On one side, the business has to know things, like are people signing up? Are they using the features we spent months building? Are they sticking around? But on the other side, you have the promise you made to your user, a promise of privacy. And we're not talking about some small promise buried in the fine print. This quote from the document makes it totally clear. Privacy is a major selling point. The on-device foundation models bit, well, that's a technical way of saying the app's smarts work on your phone instead of sending your personal data to the cloud. If you break that trust, the entire reason for the app's existence just goes up in smoke. So how do you get the data you need without betraying your users? This is where they create a governance framework, a clear playbook that lays out exactly how to measure things the right way. The solution is all guided by one simple but really powerful rule: anonymize everything. The main idea is to track behavior, not content. What that means is you track that a user created a task, but you have absolutely no idea what that task actually says. The personal details, they never ever leave the user's device. This table just lays it out perfectly. On the left, you see the anonymous behavioral things that are okay to track. A task was created, a plan was purchased, a feature was used. And on the right, you see the private, personal content that you never track, the actual text of someone's to-do list.
That is the bright line that protects user privacy while still giving the team the valuable feedback they need.
So here it is, the whole strategy boiled down into a simple 3-step playbook. First, on the tech side, use the tools that are already there. Don't reinvent the wheel. Second, for the business, go ahead and integrate analytics so you can measure what really matters. And third, on the ethics side, govern that data with an iron fist and focus only on anonymous usage. It's smart, it's efficient, and it's responsible.
And all of this leaves us with a final thought to chew on. This document gave us a rare peek of the choices one team made. But every single app on your phone is the result of hundreds of similar decisions about technology, data, and privacy. So the real question is, what kinds of trade-offs are being made inside the apps that you use every single day?